annually. But ultrasound below 40 years, then survey. So what I mean by that is an ultrasound helps to detect cancer, and through breast screening, through ultrasound, we look at maybe there's a.
Welcome back to my channel. This is Sima from NOS Couture, and today we'll be making the video you just watched now before this tutorial. It's a bit of matted on the lower part of the dress, and I have this ashoke to put on the sleeve part of the kimono. I'll use this for the matting down there on the dress. Okay, so what you're going to need now for this class is your shoulder measurements and where you want your sleeve to stop. Okay, so this is a kimono. It's folded into four in such a way there's no joining, sorry, on the shoulder part. Okay, so what I did was fold by the length of what I want. The length of what I want is 60 inches. Her length is 60 inches, like you can see here. Plus, I just added 3-inch sewing allowance. I'm going to need 2-inch sewing allowance for the folding. The 1-inch extra is for when I cut this part open. I will need half an inch to join this part back. I will need half an inch to join this part back. Okay, so that's the essence of the 3-inch. So I folded by the length of what I want, and I folded again. So as you can see, there's no joining on the shoulders. It's cut like a buba kind of thing. Okay, so if you've been joining our tutorials recently, you will know that it's quite easy to fold by this length. Okay, so what we have here is her shoulder plus 10-inch plus 12-inch sleeve length. Okay, her shoulder is 8-inch, 16 plus the sleeve length, which is 12-inch. In total we have 21. Yes, in total we have 20 plus my sewing allowance, which is 1 inch. That's 21. Okay, so I'll move on to all the measurements which I need just for guide. Okay, there's nothing too serious about this. Okay, so I will need her underbust measurement for this because I actually want to gauge where she wants the cleavage to show for her dress. Okay, she says she wants lots of cleavage to show on the dress, on the Bubu. So her underbust is 17 and a half. She's quite busty. Okay, 17 and a half, which is let's just put it at 17 and a half. Her bust point is 13. Okay, so this is her bust point. It's just for guide. There's nothing we're going to need concerning this dress. So the length of her dress is 60 inches. Okay, which is what you can see here. So this is the length of her dress, 60 inches. Okay, so I will divide that 60 inches into 2, which we all know is 30 inches. Okay, so I want to gauge that point where I would do that design on the dress. So this is 30 inches. Okay, so this is half of the dress. So I want to come down more again so I can know where to place that cutting for the mat design with the bias. Okay, so this is 30 inches. I'll divide that 30 inches into 2 again. It's just a gauge, it's just a guide, you know. They say sewing in a sense. Okay, so I'll roll this line out. This is where I'll cut out and join back for the mat design. Okay, I hope you can see the choppings very well. So I'll just mark this out. Okay, so what I will go ahead to do next is impute. Let me quickly put my hip measurement. Her hip measurement is 44. So this Bubu is going to have a slit by the side, and this customer does not like when her Bubu is so big. Okay, so I try to manage the wideness of my Bubu. So normally when I divide the hip by 4, I go ahead and add 3 inches more for ease, but for her I always do 3 inches. Yes, I go ahead and add 3 inches for her as well, but because this Bubu is going to have slits by the side, I will not make it at 3 inches. Okay, I will just do her hip divided by 4, which is 11. Okay, hip divided by 4, which is 11 plus 2 inches, not 3 inches for her. Then I can add my sewing allowance 0.75. So I'll take this figure upwards to the bust point. Okay, so this is 14. I'll take in total 14. So I'll quickly do this and come back and show us what next to do. Quickly, so this is all my 14. I've taken the figure all the way down. Okay, so now I'll return back to the upper part of this dress. As she said, she wants cleavages to show. So remember, I marked out my underbust. Her underbust is 17.5. Remember? Yes. So I want to get the difference between my underbust and my bust point. For her, the difference is 4.5 inches. Okay, so I'll go up again 4.5 inches. Okay, so anything I'm doing from here to here will show cleavage for her. So let's move on to the neckline now. So for the neck, I would use 4 inches for the wideness. Okay, I'll come down more, and there's a keyhole on the dress as well. Okay, so I would use for the wideness, let's use between 6 inches for the depth of the neck. Okay, so I will make the connection. So this is for the front neckline. Please don't make that mistake of putting front and back together. Okay, so the back, I'll come down at the back for like 2 inches for the depth of the back neckline. And I'll connect. I think I'll go up more a bit, please. Sorry. Let me go up more a bit. I think 1.5, 1.75. I hope you can see the choppings very well. I hope it's quite visible. I came down for the back by 1.75 by 4 inches. Okay, so this is it. For the depth, I used 6 inches. Okay, for the depth, then the wideness remains the same for both front and back. So there's a keyhole in the front. It's looking like a V keyhole. Okay, so I would remember I marked the total of where I want my neck depth to stop from the difference of my under bust and my bust point. Okay, so this is where I want the neck depth to stop. So please, if you don't understand what I did, you can see rewind back to the video and see what I did on this part. Okay, so I want a keyhole around here. So I want the keyhole to be around 0.75. So this part, okay? 0.75 to this part. Then I'll connect like a UV to be stopping at this part. Okay, so this is a keyhole for the front. So definitely there will be a cleavage showing around this boobs part. Okay, so now remember, there's no joining, there's no shoulder joining, so I will leave the shoulder that way. Okay, so I want to mark out where the sleeve and the arm will come out from. So normally I'm supposed to leave it at the bust point, but I don't want it to be too big for her. So I will just use the actual shoulder, the actual shoulder in forming a square. Let's say the actual shoulder is 8, which is 16, okay, divided by 2. It's supposed to be here if I was making a dress that would require a sleeve added to it, okay? But this is a kimono, you don't want it to be too tight when the person wears it. So at this 8 now, I will add those 3 extra, okay? So around here, so you can see I'm coming up from the bust point by 2 inches. Okay, what I did was I'll measure the length of the actual shoulder, which is 8, okay, from the beginning of my fabric. Then I will add extra 3 for ease. Okay, so this is where my new armhole will now be. Okay, so I would have used this point, but I don't want it to be too wide. Okay, so I'll just roll this out. Okay, and I'll rule this 14 I got, which was my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches. So I will make an intersect here at this line. So I've gotten my dress. Okay, so we're good to go now. So at this point now, I will cut this out. Okay, let me quickly cut out the shape of the dress first so we can understand what I'm doing now. This is the shape of the dress. Okay, so what I will do next is at this point now I will cut it open. So this is where the basket design will be at. I'll cut this open, but before then, at this point I'll measure the length of the basket design. I want it to be at 3.5, okay, and I want the basket design to be around here at the middle of this. Okay, so that 3.5 divided by 2, I will divide it with my tape. I got 1.75, so I will distribute the 1.75 on this 3.5. Okay, 1.75, 1.75, 1.75. From this white chalk again, I will measure 1.75, 1.75, 1.75. So by the time I'm done with my basket design, it will fall on this line. So remember, you're going to create this basket design for both front and the back piece, so don't forget. Okay, so let me just quickly locate my pocket point because I will be needing a pocket for this dress. Her front half length is 19, her back half length is 16, so I will take in between those figures. Let's use 17 for her waistline. Okay, I'll take in between those figures 17 for her waistline. Then from this waistline I'll come down 2 inches. That is where the pocket would start from. 2 inches. So this will be my pocket mouth point, and the depth of the pocket will be 7 inches. So I will make notches around this point which I just made now, here and here. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Okay, so I've made notches on this point now. So what I will do next is cut out this now for my tutorial for the basket design I'm going to create. Once I cut this out, I will cut it directly on a brown paper. So not to worry, your allowance is still here because I brought out 3-inch allowance. 1-inch allowance is going to add up to what I'm going to cut out soon. Okay? So as I have cut here now, I will make notch here. So I will know that at this point I will add back to this part. This other point I'll make notch as well. This one I'll make notch as well. So I just know that each notch point is meeting each other at the end of the day. So right now I'll go ahead and cut out my neckline so we can see. So please, if you're cutting on a neckline that has no shoulder joining, cut on the front neckline, please. I think because okay, cut on the front neckline. If you're making something that has no shoulder joining, cut on the front, notch the shoulders. Okay, then align together and cut from the front. That's notch which you made should be your guide in coupling it back. Please do not ever make such mistakes. So if not, you could buy customer material. I'll cut now on the front and the back. Okay. So I'll cut the keyhole first. Then cut on the neckline. This is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. Okay, so if you want to cut a facing, your facing should have a center fold like this because there's no shoulder joining. So your facing should have a center fold. So I'll quickly do that. Bring the fabric and cut the facing so that we can see. I brought out for the facing now. So like I said, you should have a midpoint. Okay. If you don't have up to that, you can join and form a midpoint. So this is it. So I'll raise this piece up facing, it should be going down to like 5 inches for the length of the facing on the facing piece. Okay, so if you're not a pro, please use a pin to hold down. Facing would be around the width of my facing for the back would be around 4.5, so it doesn't poke out. You can use 5 if you want to. The length of the front facing is around 5 inches, and the width of my facing 3 inches, 3.5. Okay, so I'll make it curve. I'll connect. I'll go ahead and cut my facing. So I have facing for both front and back. So you know the drill now. Before you start sewing, go ahead and put your interfacing on your fabric and also your facing to give it that strong grip. You know, make your neckline firm when you want to sew. Okay, so what to do next? For this sleeve part, I'll just go ahead and fold by 1 inch. Okay, when I fold by 1 inch, I will take my ashoke as it is this way. It's just a placement method. I'm not cutting out anything. I will fold it into 2. After that 1 inch which I folded, I think I will be having extra left like 0.75 after folding. Okay, then I will just place and drop. I'll place and sew on it. Okay, after ironing, I'll place and sew on it just to lay it down. Okay, so let's get to the matting part of this bubu. Also, okay, so I'm back. This is the pieces I cut out for the matting process. So I will just place my paper on fold as it is on my fabric. So remember, we're cutting 2, one for front, one for back. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut this, adding 0.5 inch on the lower and the upper parts. Okay, so I'll cut this out. And the last part, just to get the safe side. So I'll match what's up and down. I really don't need this anymore. I'll use this to cut my extra. Another one. Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So we want to create the basket design. Like you can see here, I've already done this for one part. Okay, I've done this for one part, so this is another part. Okay, so what you do first is, remember this was the piece we cut out with that brown paper from the Ankara dress, the place I wanted to make the mat design. So what you do now is get the midpoint. Okay, try and locate the midpoint, and also get your bias and cut into, can you help me pick that thing, and cut into the length of what you have here. I think it's by 4 inches. Yes, mine is 4 inches, so I cut this bias into 4 inches. Okay, so I used a total of 10 yards for this one. Yes, 10 yards for this one. So this one, so I'm going to use a total of 10 yards as well. So I'm going to fold and get my midpoint. Okay, so after which I'm done, I'll come back and continue the video. So I'm gonna ahead to get my crease line. Okay, so this is my crease line. So I've got my crease line. So what you do now is on that crease line, this is where you'll be sewing at the midpoint. But before you start sewing, you know this is the fine place. This is the right side of the bias. You won't face this right side upward. You face it downwards. Okay. So you start placing on each crease line, making sure it's accurate with your paper and your what's it called, your bias. Okay, so I will start placing each other continuously, and I will sew on that crease line. I'll place as many as I can sew. You can leave the camera up for them so you can see it if it's not visible. Okay, so I'll start sewing on that crease line. So I'll sew all the way, continue till the end of my paper. Okay, I'll continue the same process if I get to the matting process. Okay, so please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I don't know how you want us to grow if you have not subscribed to my channel. On all platforms, NOS Couture, all platforms, from YouTube to TikTok to Facebook to Instagram, same logo you see on wherever you find us. That is where all the logos are. Same logo you see everywhere. Same name. Please like, share, subscribe, follow us. We bring easy sewing tips for you. Okay, so I'll continue this process and I'll come back and show us what to do next off camera. And now, okay, so what I will do next is sew on that same line to reinforce the stitch together. Okay, so it doesn't go out in place. So once I'm done doing all this, I'll start my matting. I'll go ahead and start matting now. So what you're going to do basically is just to move one to one side, one to the other side. Okay, so see how this is looking now. I'll move this one. So please, whenever you're sewing, please be careful that you know, since we're having the paper, so it doesn't tear off, because one just tore off now. So be careful while you're doing it. So I'll move this one to this side. I hope you can see. Is it visible? This is how it is. You can carry the camera up. This one to this side. Okay. This other one to this side. This is how it will be. Okay. So I'll start sewing. Start sewing now. Holding it down. So this other one, I will get to this other side when I'm done. Okay. So basically, I have moved that one. I'll move this one. So I'm just on this lane now. Okay, I'm just on this lane, so I'll continue the stitch. This one is to this side and this other one is to this side. So I'll just continue my stitching. This one to this side, this one to this side. Okay, I hope it's quite explanatory. There's nothing too hard around it. Okay, I'll just continue that way. This way. This way. So you continue the same process till you're done with it. So it's even much more easier when you get to this part, because already it's made for you, so you just have to sew it. Okay? Just take your time while you sew. So I'm on this side now. So this one is quite easy. So since it's already laid, just start laying with your hand. Okay. Make sure it's all aligned. You can see the design we've created here already. So make sure they are all aligned together. So I will do all these processes till the end. So we're almost done, but make sure by the time you're done you reinforce your stitches again on all of them by the sides. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so once you reinforce your stitch, you now get to join it with your lower and your upper parts. Okay, so I'm done with this now. So what I will do next is reinforce. Well, let's just keep this aside. I have reinforced this one. Okay, so I'll get my pieces now. This is the pieces I have joined already. So remember, when we were cutting this piece, we made notches for this part, notches for the other part, notches for this part which we cut out. Okay, there's a notch here. This is lower part where we notched. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take one piece. This is the notch part of the pattern, remember. So I'll place this notch part to this notch part. So you see why all these parts are very, very important. Please, whenever you're sewing, all these notches. So I'll take this and sew at 0.3. okay, with my paper and my fabric. I'll sew at 0.3 from this side to this other side, and I'll take this other notch part and take one of this piece to complete the hem of the dress. Okay, so this is it for it. So by the time I'm done sewing, after you're done sewing and all your bias are in place, you can go ahead and rip off your paper carefully. Please don't rush. You can easily pour water on it to make it damp, it to be very, very soft, and you can tear it off. Okay, then that's the end of your bubu. You join your sides and everything is done and complete. So if this tutorial has been helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Follow us on all our channels: YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all at NOS Couture. Thanks guys for watching. God bless us all. Bye bye.